I was just putting up the posters, just seeing where they look good, and I was gonna finalize afterwards. How can I help you? You're interested in some of our classes? Okay, that's great. Alright. If you'd like, I can go over the brochure with you and let you know what we have to offer, explain our programs, our tuition, our rules, basic rules, and things like that. Yeah? Okay. Well, I'm gonna head on over to you. You don't have to come to me. So this is our brochure. We are, as you know, the Adult Visual Arts Dance Studio, or TAVADS for short. It's an acronym. This is a brochure. Don't make fun of my folding. I didn't do that great a job. That's okay. Alright. So that's our brochure. I know the writing's a little small. I'll read it to you. It says, Welcome to the Adult Visual Arts Dance Studio, where we encourage adults of all ages and abilities to shine through dance. We offer a large selection of dance classes at flexible schedules and through various formats to accommodate an adult's busy schedule. Please look through the brochure, contact us, or visit our website to see if our studio is right for you. Now, we offer various formats. The formats that we have available are in studio or online. Now, you can do a combination of these. Say, for instance, if you take 2 classes with us, you can have one in studio and you can have one online. Or we can mix and match depending on the instructor. But for both of these formats, we have both class options and private tutoring. Now, the classes are essentially you're with other people, other students who are learning just like you are. For private tutoring, it's just you and the dance instructor, so it's just one-on-one. You do not have to want to be a professional dancer or anything like that, or go to a dance school to get the private tutoring option. That also is really good for people who maybe are shy around other people, you're not really a people person, you feel awkward in front of others, maybe you're a super beginner and being in front of other people makes you a little nervous. If that's the case, private tutoring is a good option. The tuition is the same regardless of which option you choose. And the reason we do that is we don't think it's right to charge more for private tutoring because your teacher is going to teach you no matter what. And we don't want people who feel more comfortable with private tutoring to shy away from it just because of the price. So we do keep the price the same. Now, online is through our Dance Virtually platform. So you can contact us for more information, but you're here, so I'll tell you. For online, you can either have a class setting or a private tutor again. So it's either one-on-one with the instructor virtually, or you are part of a class. So the class may occur in studio, but we'll also have a camera there so that you can virtually participate in class. We do realize that dancing at home, because most likely you're going to be dancing at home if you're doing it online, is difficult, especially with space limitations. Maybe you live in an apartment or your room is very small. There's a lot of clutter around you kind of thing. So you're a little more limited, and our instructors are aware of that. So they do try to keep the choreography to accommodate any students who are practicing online. And it's up to our instructors if they accept both class and online formats at the same time. We do our best to accommodate what's best for you as well, but we do think of our instructors too and their comfort level. However, online is also a good option for those who, just like private tutoring, don't really like physically being with a lot of other people, because maybe you just don't feel comfortable feeling everyone's vibes, if you will. But that's also good for people who are out of state or who even from different countries, as long as you speak English. We do not offer translation services or anything like that. Everything's strictly in English. So if you, obviously I'm talking to you, so you speak English, but we are fine with having international students. participate online, but we do ask that they at least can understand and speak English so that they can interact properly in class and get the proper instruction, because we want the quality of instruction to be very high. And we don't have this, although some of our instructors are bilingual, we don't offer the classes at this time as bilingual classes. For both in studio and online, all of our classes, as long as you're not like out of state or not so far away that you can't come to the studio, we offer open studio. Open studio means that you can literally, when there isn't a class in that studio space, you can use it for whatever you want. As in appropriately for dance, to practice your choreography, to practice your form, anything like that. So you can literally go in with a bunch of other people, maybe from different classes, or if you happen to be there by yourself, you can go in there by yourself and practice your dancing in the studio so that you have the space. So maybe, for instance, if you take ballet, you have the bar to help you. Also, if maybe you do the online option and you know that there's an open studio, and you want to go to the studio and have that big space to work with instead of a little room, you can also do that. Okay, so they are available. We do offer some combination stretching recordings for guidance. That's at the instructor's discretion as well. Normally, we do film the instructor only, not the students, so that you can see what the stretches and combinations and what the class is, so that you can practice again, because we all know that sometimes you're in class, you're doing the combination, you think you got it, and then you leave, and the next day you completely forgot what the order of the combination was, what the little details, the nuances of the moves, that kind of thing. So we do offer that option in case you want to watch it and practice. You would have to go to the front desk though, so that we can get you the right recording for your class. Okay? Now for pricing, the first class is always free. So the first class is considered a trial class. That means that not just one class is free. It means one class per type of class is free. So for example, if you tried a ballet class, that first class would be free. If you also wanted to try a hip hop class, that class would be free. Okay? So it's per type of class would be free. And then after that, it's pretty much $1 per minute. So we have a 30-minute class, which is $30, 60 minutes is $60, but then it gets a little cheaper as you go. 90 minutes is $80, 120 is $100. We also have some discounts for those who have multiple classes with us, because we know dance can get expensive, and we do want to make it as accessible to everyone as we possibly can. So you'd have to talk to us to figure out what your exact tuition would be, but this is per month, just so you know. So tuition is due on the 1st of the month, and that's prepaying for the next month. So say, for example, right now it's April. So if you pay on the 1st of April, which passed already, but you pay for your 1st of April, you're paying for May's classes, okay? And that's how we set that up. Now, getting to the part that you're probably more interested in, we have our class offerings. Now, the classes that we offer are quite extensive, actually. Very often, it's hard to find adult dance classes, especially for beginners, but we offer quite a bit. Like you would find in most studios, especially for adults, you'll find ballet and hip hop tend to be offered. Our ballet teaching style is Russian Vaganova. Now, Russian Vaganova is a type of teaching style. Essentially, we just wanted you to know that because there are different styles of ballet. Each style has different terminology, slightly different emphasis. Some of the moves are similar to the other teaching styles, but they differ in some way, shape, or form. There's French style, there's English style, American style. This is the Russian style of ballet that we teach here, okay? We do offer hip-hop, we offer contemporary, and lyrical dance. I always get confused with these, personally. Contemporary is essentially kind of like an almost like an abstract kind of dance, in that it kind of breaks the mold. And lyrical dance is more, you're listening to music and dancing to music that has lyrics. Like, for instance, ballet, you usually listen to classical kind of waltz, 1, 2, 3 kind of music. But in lyrical, you're listening to songs that have lyrics to them, and you're dancing kind of to the lyrics, and it's a mix kind of a ballet and jazz. We also have tap dance. We offer jazz, burlesque, and musical theater. We offer ballroom dancing. If you don't have a partner for ballroom dancing, no big deal. We can just pair you up with somebody else. If you don't have a partner and you do the online option for ballroom dancing, that's no big deal. They'll just teach you how to dance by yourself, so that if you were in a ballroom setting, you'd be able to do it. We also have Latin dancing. We have belly dancing. We have pole dancing, and we have folk dances like the Irish step and the hula, and we have Zumba. We also do offer much more. Just to clarify, because I know most people, when they see especially the pole dancing, they get a little like, what? Pole dance, we're not training you to be a stripper. Pole dancing literally is a style of dance. You just use the pole as your helper. Now, all of our classes are for men and women, not just for a particular gender. So, for example, ballet isn't just for women. Pole dancing is not just for women. It's for both men and women. So you choose whatever you want to do. Pole dancing actually requires a lot of strength and flexibility. It can be a beautiful style of dance, so you are not gonna go into this class and see a bunch of naked people, okay? You're gonna have clothes, it's gonna be fine, it's just a regular class, okay? It's just a style of dance. Now, down here it tells you that we offer beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels of all of our classes. So here's the thing, there's always a kind of a mix of levels even in those levels. So for example, beginner could mean someone who literally knows absolutely nothing about dance, has never tried classes ever. I was one of those people, so I would go into the beginner class. There's also people who know just a little bit, or kind of dabbled in it, or used to dance as a child maybe, and then is going back into dance now and realize that they really need a brush up. So they would be more advanced than the beginner who knows nothing at all, but they're still considered a beginner. So there's different levels within those levels, but our instructors are competent enough to know which level is best for their students. Once they start to get to know you a little bit better, they'll know where you belong, okay? So even if you don't, they will. Also, our availability depends on our instructors and depends on our students and what they wish to have. So for example, if there's something not on this list or something that we don't offer this year for dance, you can always request a certain type of dance, and we have to see how many people are interested in attending that class and which one of our instructors are competent enough and willing to do that class, and we can actually make more classes for you. We reserve the right to change the class selection at any point depending on our instructor availability and the demand from our students. Okay? However, these are usually our staples. I've never seen them go away, so you will at least have these offerings. Okay? We also offer some extras. So, for example, we offer workshops. Now, as it says here, we offer weekly and bi-weekly workshops on various forms of dance that is open for any of our students to try. So it doesn't matter what level you are welcome to try it. Guests are also welcome. These informative nights are taught by our highly qualified instructors. The workshops range in their focuses. The focus could be on toning the body, proper stretches for before and after dancing or exercising, specific folk dances, hip-hop moves, and so much more. Please review our website or contact our studio for the latest offerings. So we will always post a poster of these offerings. We always have it available on our website. We advertise there. Very often that's where you'll find this information. But we also have a poster here. I actually have the latest one over there. If you're interested, I can show you that after. We also have theme nights. So our studio offers monthly themed nights that are open to any of our students and their guests for a small fee. Workshops are free. They're always free. And our theme nights have a fee. Okay? So each themed night is unique and can range from Michael Jackson or Patrick Swayze nights to a 90s dance hall. Light refreshments are available for all attendees, and some theme nights feature live music. Now, essentially our workshop is to teach you something, some type of specific thing, kind of hone in on something, and help you either learn about it or practice it. Our themed nights are more just fun nights, really. They're themed so you can dress up. So for instance, if we did a 90s dance hall, you could dress up in 90s gear with the scrunchies and all that. And just have a good time. You will be taught different dances, and that will be offered. But we also offer the option of an open studio. So in the back of the dance studio, we have it open for whoever wants to just dance, you know what I mean? And we always do offer light food, like fruits, and we do offer water and things like that. This is just more of a fun night for everybody. Now, of course, we have to have a wonderful review. So this TAVADS student has amazing instruction, so many classes to choose from, just wow. So yeah, if you care about a random person and what they say, what we're advertising to you, that's what they say. Now for this panel, it talks a little bit about our instructors. Now, it says our instructors provide high quality, individualized instruction, even in group settings, since each of our instructors are highly student-centric. They offer our students a fun and safe learning environment where the nuances of technique are taught and practiced, but individualized expression is strongly encouraged. Whether you join to learn and get your technique and form, get in a great workout, or just have fun, our instructors are ready to assist you with your dance and fitness goals. Now, our instructors are very highly qualified. That's not just tooting our own horn. We do look for the best teachers we can find who are competent in the style of dance that they teach, who are well versed in how to teach students of different abilities, and we very highly, strongly encourage individual instruction as well. So even if you're in a class setting, they're watching all of you, okay, to make sure that everybody is getting the technique down, that everyone, regardless of where they are in their dance learning, is getting the best instruction possible for them as individuals, okay? We also wanted to put in our attendance policy. Now, the reason we did that is because we do recognize that you are an adult and it's up to you whether you show up to class or not. However, we also keep in mind our staff and our other students. So if you, for instance, maybe you have personal instruction time one-on-one with your instructor, you're wasting your instructor's time if you don't show up and you don't say anything. And that's not okay. We don't want our instructors to just wait on you for a ridiculous amount of time, expecting you to show up, thinking that maybe you're just late and you never show up. We have had issues like that in the past, so we revised our attendance policy. In the blurb it says, here at TAVADS, we understand that life happens. However, we strongly urge our students to maintain regular class attendance as much as possible so that they don't miss out. Recorded choreography may be given to the absent student at our instructor's discretion. Please call or inform us on your student portal if you will be late or absent. It doesn't say here because we don't want to scare people, but if people are ridiculously tardy very often and or they're absent too much, especially for private classes, private tutoring, we have the right to kick you out of TAVADS. But we try to avoid that. We try to work with you as much as possible. So don't let that scare you. It's just to stress how important attendance really, really is and trying when you're in class. Although we have the recordings for the open studios, you have the, if our instructor allows you, we can email you that recording so you can practice at home so that you're up to date on the latest choreography, the latest moves, whatever you need to know from your previous class that you missed. However, we do ask that you let us know. That's the most important part, really. Let us know that you're not going to be there or that you're going to be late so that you're courteous to your instructors and you're courteous to your fellow students. It's not okay when other students are waiting and getting their time wasted because they're waiting for you to show up and you never do. So, attendance is important, okay? Just bear that in mind. It's kind of like with school or with anything. It's just common courtesy. Okay. Now, we have some of our contact information here. So if you have any questions or you want to join, you're here now. But that's our phone number. That is our email, and that's our website, okay? Now, we do have our mission statement at the top because it's important to us that you know what we strive to achieve here, okay? So, Our mission statement is to enable and empower adults of all ages and abilities to creatively express themselves through movement in a mentally, physically, and spiritually stimulating learning environment. Okay? So, one of the biggest things about adult dancing is this studio literally is catered to only adults. Only adults. We don't cater to children at all. And it's not because we don't like children. It's just because there are so many dance studios out there specifically for children, and it's very difficult as an adult to find a studio that's willing to teach you. We found that was a struggle, so the founder of TAVADS made this studio purposely for adults because we understand how hard it is to find quality instruction, to find any studio that will even take adults. It's hard to find studios that will accommodate your schedule, that will accommodate the type of format that you prefer. So we try to be as flexible as possible here and cater specifically to adults because we understand the struggle. Especially if you're a super beginner, like you don't know anything, finding a studio that is catered to you is difficult. Very, very difficult. So that's why TAVADS was founded. And those are some of our offerings and what we do. Do you have any questions for me at this point? Okay, that's great. I'll actually give you this brochure so you have it. You have our information and you can read it at your leisure, okay? So I'm going to give this to you. Okay. So you're actually interested in some of our tryout classes. That's great. Okay, good. No, it's good to try. The thing is, we do want you to fill out one of our registration forms, even if it's just a tryout class, just because we need some of your information so that we can cater things to you. So would you like me to assist you with this? It's just front and back, that's it. Front and back. Okay, I'll show you. I can help you with it. Hold on. I have one of these. So I'll replace this on our clipboard here. And we can get started, okay? I have my pen. Alright, so this is what the form generally looks like. At least this is the front of the form. Okay, it does have a back, which it looks like this. I will go over each section with you and I'll fill it out for you, okay? Just so that I can explain anything that you need to be explained, so that I can answer any questions that you may have while you're here, okay? So the first thing we need is your first name, please. Okay. And your last name, please. Okay. We don't ask for middle names because I find that you usually don't need them for anything, so we don't put it on the front. However, we do ask if you have a preferred name or a nickname that you prefer us to address you as. Okay. That's fine. What is your date of birth? So month, day, year. Okay. Okay. And what is your address, please? Okay. 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 And your primary phone number, please. It could be a cell number. Most people don't have home phones anymore, but if you do, that's not a big deal. Whatever works for you. It's a cell number. Okay. Let's write that down for our reference. And what is it? Okay. 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 Alright. And what is your email address? The one that you want us to contact at least. Okay. Alright. At what is it? Alright. We ask what preferred method of contact you'd like us. So if you'd like us to contact you, either to call you, to text you, or to email, or you can choose any combination. So call, text, or email. Okay. You're fine with all of that. Okay. Do you have a preferred method? As in, if we're going to tell you, okay, we have a workshop coming up, would you rather have an email about it? Would you rather have us call you or text you? Okay. I'll put a little star next to text. Alright, that's fine. We are not responsible for any fees from the text or anything. Okay, alright. It's just the usual spiel. Alright, we also, this may seem a little personal, we don't do this to pry. We do this for your safety and for our instructors' liability. Okay, so we ask you to let us know any current or healing injuries that you may have. For instance, maybe you have a knee injury or a foot injury or something like that. We would need to know that. No? Nothing? Okay. Do you have any allergies? We mainly ask that just because, especially with food allergies, we don't want to offer you food at some type of gathering, like the theme nights or the workshops, and find out that we accidentally poisoned you with something that you're allergic to. So we do want to be able to offer you other food, so you're not stuck with what you're allergic to. Nothing? Okay, that's good. And do you have any health issues or concerns that could impact your participation in class? So, for example, like if you're a person who has kind of weak knees, you have knee issues, they bother you a little bit. If you take ballet, for instance, very often you do what's called a plie, where you bend down, you squat, essentially. It's kind of like a squat, and you're pulling up at the same time, and you're bending your knees. So there's something called a grand plie, where you bend so low that you're really close to the ground. People who have knee problems usually have trouble with the grand plie. So if that's you, the instructor can accommodate that. Most things we can accommodate for, we just need to know about it. So we can give you proper modifications so that you don't get hurt during class, okay? And prevent injuries. So, do you have any concerns that we should know about? Okay. Just the knees. Alright. Is it due to any injury or anything like that, or is it just hurts? Okay. I'm gonna write normal so that we know it's just a typical thing. That's okay. It just bothers you once in a while. Alright, it's good to know. Alright. That's really not a big deal, and that's honestly common, especially as we get older. The joints tend to be the issues, and that's no big deal. Alright. Now we get to choose which style of dance you prefer. Essentially, I need to know what you're interested in trying for those trial classes, your level of expertise in each style, and your preference in which class you want. The only reason why we ask you to rank the classes, which you'd prefer the most, is just in case we can't offer it this year because of instructor availability or something like that, or what other people are interested in taking, what our students are interested in taking. Like I said, pretty much all that we list here we always have available in all beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels. However, we do ask for the ranking just in case. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a college class in that it really depends on who we have as staff members and who we have as students. Thankfully, with our studio, it became very popular because so many people weren't able to find studios that accommodated adults specifically, especially those beginners. that we have the funding necessary to get a lot of staff and offer a lot of classes. But anyway, so which style of dance are you interested in trying? So we have the ballet, which is the Russian Vaganova, like I told you before. We also have hip hop. We have contemporary and lyrical. Those two are better suited to people that do have some type of experience with ballet and jazz in particular. Like I said, we do have beginners, so it doesn't even matter if you don't have those. We can still accommodate. I just want to let you know that it might be a little rough physically if you're not conditioned by having the experience of ballet and jazz. And just a little asterisk on those. But we do have contemporary, we do have lyrical. Contemporary is more that avant-garde kind of breaking the rules type thing. Lyrical is more your dancing, very much with expression, kind of that mix of ballet and jazz to songs that have lyrics. It's more of kind of like a storytelling type dance form. We also have tap dance, so you wear the tap shoes and you make music as you dance. We also have Latin dancing, which is very flowy, very cultural. We have belly dancing, which is also very cultural. We have the pole dancing, like I said, it's just a style of dance, nothing more. And we have folk dancing, so we have different types of folk dances. So, like we said before, we have Irish step, hula, things like that. Although you can specify which you prefer, and we can see if we have that available for you. We also have the jazz burlesque musical theater. We have ballroom, and we have Zumba. Zumba is more of a fitness dance class, so it's really dependent on what you're here for. You could be here just for fun. You could be here to learn different styles. You could be here to improve your fitness, whatever it is. You could be a combination of a bunch of different things. It doesn't matter why you're here. That's your personal information. But for Zumba, it's catered more towards incorporating fitness workout type moves with dancing. So obviously dancing itself is physically demanding no matter what style you pick. So you're gonna get a workout regardless of which style you choose. However, if you want it catered more to that kind of cardio, getting your heart pumping, incorporating a lot of different workouts into the dance itself, Zumba could be a good option. We also have other, so if you have a specific type of dance style you'd like to try, especially if you want the one-on-one, because we're a lot more flexible with the one-on-one, you can specify that and we can see if we can accommodate that for you. We will do our best to. Do you need to see the form to see? Those are a lot of dance styles. Okay. So we have the ballet, we have hip hop, we have contemporary, lyrical, tap, Latin, belly dancing, pole dancing, folk dancing, different styles. On the back, we have jazz burlesque musical theater, ballroom, Zumba, or other. Do any of those stick out to you? Do you need me to explain any of them? Okay. Alright, so you definitely want to try hip hop. Okay. What's your level? Are you beginner, intermediate, advanced, or not sure? We stick in the not sure just because some people really aren't sure what they are. So maybe they dabble with it at home and they think they're a little more advanced than a beginner. Or, like I said, they did it when they were children and then they stopped when they were an adult. Maybe they did it while they were teenagers and now they're older and they want to go back to it. So they may things may come back easier to them than for an absolute beginner. So they may be more advanced than they think they are, that kind of thing. So we do put not sure just in case. If you do pick not sure, we immediately stick you in a beginner class. The reason we do that is we don't want to discourage you, one, just in case you are a beginner, and two, it helps us see where you are. So if, for instance, we notice you're much more advanced than a beginner, we'll put you in an intermediate class. If we see, again, you're so advanced that you should be advanced, we'll put you in the advanced class. So we'll work with you, we'll speak to you, what you're comfortable doing, what you're looking for. Like, for instance, even if you're advanced, you may want to go to a beginner class to kind of rehash and remind yourself about all the nuances of dance and to bring yourself back to form. So for example, if you're doing these really complicated steps, maybe you forgot, oh, I really should clean this up, or have this particular strategy that can help me dance better, that kind of thing. So, or like prevent injuries and that kind of thing. So it kind of brings you back to base. So it's not a bad thing if you are advanced and you want to try a beginner class again, just to kind of rehash those basics. But it's up to you how you want to do it. Which do you think you are? A beginner. Okay, there's no shame in that. Are you interested in any other classes to try, or you just want that pop? I recommend, especially if you've never tried any other dance form, to do ballet. Ballet is very much a foundation for a lot of dance. So it's almost like if you play piano, right, for music. Playing piano helps you understand music theory better because of the way the keys are, and it's more of a visual thing. You can see it, you can see octaves, and all these musical terms will make more sense to you if you play piano first. So that's like your classic basic foundation for everything. Ballet is the piano of dance. So if you really want that good foundation, really good physical control of your body, that the proper way to stand and the proper way to do anything to prevent injuries and to be more technical, I would recommend pairing it with ballet for any classes that you're trying. I would also recommend ballet if you're doing hip hop, because it's nice to have different styles of dance that are so different that they challenge you in a good way. So for example, hip hop is, you're still very controlled, but you're very loose, or at least that's what you're supposed to be. As a beginner, you might be a little more stiff, but eventually you'll get looser. So you're still using techniques, you still have nuances to the dance, but you are a lot more flowy and everything is a lot more relaxed than in ballet. In ballet, you're a lot more structured in everything you do. Everything, even where you look, is very structured, where you're facing. So having those two be polar opposites like that, but still kind of related, help you tremendously. It'll help your body tremendously, and it'll help you as a dancer. So I do recommend both. Are you interested in trying that, or in anything else, or you just want to stick with the hip hop? Okay. You want to try it? You're a beginner for ballet too. That's fine. Okay. Do you have a preference of which one? We do offer both right now, so we always offer both pretty much. Like I said, all these are pretty much staples that we always have. However, we do ask which one you prefer. That makes sense. Okay. Alright. So moving on. Now we're gonna ask you, even though you're just trying a trial class, we do offer some of the same classes on different days at different times, because we try to accommodate all adults. Not all adults work kind of like a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday schedule. Some adults work at night. Some adults work super early in the morning when they do like a 7 to 3:30 or something like that. They work different schedules. Maybe they have children or pets or whatever it is, plants, whatever you got to take care of, you know what I mean? Take care of yourself. You have certain hobbies that you do outside of dance, that kind of thing. So we try to accommodate your schedule to the best of our abilities. So we do want to ask to rank your available days and times. Now, you don't have to rank every single day. You can leave blank what you don't like or put an X. I can do that for you if certain days don't work for you. So we're open Monday through Saturday. We are closed on Sundays. Although once in a while, maybe about once a month, we'll have an open studio on a Sunday, just in case that's helpful to our students. We'll have an attendant, such as myself, come in every once in a while, just so that we can keep the studio clean, direct people to different studios, and maybe you want to work on Sundays. Everything's closed, so all the studios are open. So maybe you want to work alone, we can offer you a studio, that kind of thing, by yourself. Now, we offer both AM and PM classes, but we offer at different times. It really depends on instructor availability and what our students most want. So we kind of keep it generic on the form. When, like, for instance, Mondays AM maybe are best for you, or Mondays PM, that kind of thing. So don't worry about the various nitty-gritty times. We can always look at that later. You can look on the portal and you'll see all the options. Once you create a portal account, which is on our website, so you just go to our website, like I have it on the brochure for you, that website, go on to it, it'll say the portal, and then you just create an account. It just goes through the basic, name, what's your password, username, security questions, that kind of thing. That's basic, typical stuff. It's actually a very pretty intuitive portal. So it should be very simple, but you can always contact us if you need help, and there's no shame in contacting us, even though I just said it was simple, okay? Now, back to the ranking. What is your preferred availability? So Monday through Saturdays, AM or PM? We will rank it as you need. So what's your perfect day and time? Okay. Do you have a second preference? Maybe it's probably best to have at least 3 different options. Just kind of keep it open. Okay. And anything else? Okay. And okay. That's it? Alright, so Wednesdays PM, Tuesdays PM, Fridays PM, Saturdays AM. Correct? Okay. Very good. Now, this next section is mostly for our information. We would like to know what you're interested in. So we want to ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most likely and 1 being the least likely, would you attend our workshops? And like it says on the brochure, our workshops covers such a huge array of different information, but are you interested in having more of that kind of niche teaching of a certain type of dance, certain type of form, toning, stretching? It can also go over different types of dance, so it's almost like a mini trial class, almost like a bonus trial class for the different classes that we offer, to see if you want to switch it up or anything like that. Are you interested in any of those? If you would rank it 1 to 10, with 10 being the most likely, how would you rank it? Would you attend at least once? Are you interested in attending at least once, depending on what's offered? Okay, that's fine. Would you like to list any particular areas that you're interested in learning in a workshop, or to explain to us why you ranked it that way? No? Oh, that's fine. No, we don't. How about for theme nights? Would you come to our theme nights? So that could be literally anything. It's more just a fun night. We do teach you. Our instructors do teach you, but it's more for fun than actually learning too much. You know what I mean? We usually have them on Friday nights. Not always, but we usually have them on Friday nights, just so people can kind of shake off the work week if they are a Monday through Friday type person, work person. So what would you rank theme nights? Okay. Do you want to explain the ranking or any areas of interest for you? You do want to do the 90s night? I know. Okay. No, I know. I saw you wear 90s, baby. Nothing wrong with that. Anything else? No? Okay. Now, the last one we should have mentioned in the brochure. We did not. My fault. That's alright. But we also offer field trips. We call them field trips. Sometimes we do offer a bus or some type of transportation for you, but more often than not, you're going to be traveling to the location. So for field trips, it depends on the class and the weather and things like that, and availability for different places that we go to. Most of the time, we try to offer at least 1 field trip per class per year. And the field trips range depending on what's available, what your instructors want, what the students are interested in, what they need, etc. So for example, maybe if you're interested in the ballet, you tried it, you like it, and you're in the class, maybe there's a local dance studio or a school that's offering a night, a ballet, some type of ballet, the Nutcracker, Swan Lake, something like that, and you can go together at a discounted group rate to go see it. Or you could do something where maybe you're working on your flowing in one of your classes, maybe you're in contemporary or lyrical and you need some inspiration or something like that. You might go to the beach together and literally dance with the waves or something. You could literally do something like that. Usually we'll rent out a space so you're not getting stared at by a bunch of random people when you go. So we do have different things like that. For pole dancing, maybe you'll do something more for toning or something like that, kind of parkour-esque. So it really depends on the class, who you have as an instructor, what's available, that kind of thing. The field trips aren't always at a fee. We don't always charge a fee. It depends on if we offer transportation. It depends on if it is some type of local event that does carry a fee. We'll usually try to discount it for you as a group rate. And we'll just tell you how much it is, when it's due by, that kind of thing. We give you reminders. We do try to offer group discounted rates, but sometimes they are free. Like if, for instance, we go to the beach or something like that, we might go to the beach at a time when we don't have to rent it out, where pretty much nobody goes. You could do it then, so that we don't have to use resources for it. But it really depends on where you're going, if it carries a fee, if we're offering transportation, that kind of thing. If we do offer transportation, we'll only charge those who are going to use the transportation. That way, not everybody's getting hit with a fee if you're driving yourself. So we try to accommodate what our students need. So, what would you rank attending a field trip? Okay. And did you want to say anything about that? Okay, that's fine. The last bit at the bottom is just saying that payment information needs to be completed online via the online portal. So we mention again our website, which is on that brochure that I gave you. Go to the website, make your account for the portal. You even need to make it for the trial class, so you can pick which specific day and time you'd like and what type, if you want online, private tutoring, that kind of thing. And we don't ask for your payment information, so don't put any payment information down. We won't ask it for you. If you click that it's just for your trial class, we're not going to ask for payment information. The reason we do that is because maybe you try the classes and you're like, whoa, this is not for me, or something like that. We want you to have the peace of mind that we're not going to charge you at all. We don't even have the means to charge you. We wouldn't do it anyway, but we're not going to charge you at all for those trial classes. We also only want your payment information after you officially register. So although you're registering, you won't have to redo this again. If you do decide to take the classes, you would just need to add that payment information by a certain time. I'll give you the deadline. I can give you all that information when you try the classes and you see if you want to attend our classes or not, or if you want to trial different classes instead, we can do that. Even if you do decide to trial different classes, I would just remark that on my end, because I'll see that you chose that on the portal. Just choose it on the portal, say it's a trial class, or you can call us, talk to me, whatever you need, and we can put that in for you. You won't have to redo this form. Although we usually ask that people redo this, at least part of the form, mostly what classes you want, medical history, that kind of thing. We double check if your address changed, or your contact information, or your preferences change. Maybe you're sick of the text messages and you want email instead, that kind of thing. We do ask for you essentially to fill this out every year, but you don't have to worry about it right now, okay? Because you're pretty much filled it out. But you'll only need the payment information if you decide to officially become a student with us. Okay, so if you decide to join and you find out, wow, I didn't really like this, or maybe you changed jobs and your schedule changed and you need a different class, you can cancel you can pretty much cancel on any time. Like I said, you pay for the month ahead of time, so you can cancel anytime. The only thing we do that's a little bit of a caveat is if you prepaid, say like you're in April, you prepaid for May. If you cancel before May happens, say, right, then we will refund you the money you paid April 1st for May. However, if you're in the middle of May and you cancel, even if you don't show up for each class of that month, you prepaid for that month, we're not going to refund you. We'll only refund you for the next month, for June. So if you paid May for June, we'll refund you that money. But we don't refund you for partial months, if that makes sense. Although if you're very confused by that, we can go through that if you do decide to leave, okay? So that's not a worry, you're just trying it out. Okay, so we just need your signature and the date, and then you're all set with this, and I can answer any questions you have. So if you just want to sign this, okay, and you date it. Oh, wrong month. Yeah, I know what happens. It happens. Okay. Thank you. I'm just gonna write for myself. I have to initial. Okay. I'm going to initial, and I'm going to write the date. Okay, both sides. I'm going to put this into the portal for you, so when you do make an account, it'll automatically be there, all that information. If you need to change any information at all, you can do it from the portal, and if you need any help, feel free to reach out to us, okay? All our hours are also on our website, so you can see that. Okay. Would you like to check this quickly just to make sure? I probably should have asked you this before you signed, but I'll let you change it if you need to. I'm going to show you the form, okay? Is all this information accurate? Is all this information accurate? Okay. Flip it. Okay. That's good. I should have asked you that before. That was my fault. Sorry. So I'm going to put your private information this way. I'll take care of that for you later. Do you have any questions for me at all at this point? You have a lot of questions. That's fine. I will answer to the best of my ability. Okay, let me just put that up there. All right. What is your first question? So you want to know about the dress code? Okay. It really depends on the class. So most classes don't. Certain classes have specialty dress codes. Some classes are more lax than others regarding what you need to wear. Generally, overview of what you need to wear is pretty much something that is comfortable. Always something that is comfortable for you. Also, that is appropriate, so we don't need, like, for instance, a bunch of cleavage or anything hanging out. We understand you're gonna get warm. You can wear shorts, you can wear tank tops or wife beaters and things like that, but we want it to be appropriate. So you have to use your judgment of what is appropriate and what feels comfortable for you as a dancer. However, generally speaking, we want your clothing to be appropriate, but also to be a little bit form-fitting. We don't want it so tight that you can't move. Jeans are a no-no immediately because they're too tight and they're just usually not good for dance at all or any type of physical activity. We do ask that you wear kind of more gym clothes for the most part. So you can wear leggings, you can wear jazz pants, you can wear anything like that. We do ask that it's a little more form-fitting and that it's not too long. The reason we do that is because, for instance, like I'm wearing some gym pants. However, I'm gonna be weird and stick my foot up. You can't see, these are so long that it kind of covers my foot. So if I was doing ballet and I'm trying to point or flex, you don't see my foot as readily as if I rolled it up. So they're not gonna kick me out for wearing this, but I might need to roll it up so that the instructor can see my feet and make sure that I'm doing the right thing. However, it's also for safety because we don't want it so long that you're tripping, especially if you're a super beginner and you're a little unsure where your body should be and what your body should be doing, which is normal. No judgment, because I'm like that very much. But you don't want your clothes getting in the way, so you want to be able to think and try and do safely without having to worry about your wardrobe falling off or hindering you in your steps and what you're learning, okay?
if that makes sense. That's kind of the general overview. Some classes have specialty clothing. We do have a boutique that has different things you can purchase. Pretty much everything you need for a dance class, we have available in different sizes and things. And we can always order out if you need something. That way you don't have to really, like I said, it's very hard to find adult things for dance in particular, and especially like even clothing is hard to find sometimes. And not everyone's comfortable getting it online and not being able to try it on and everything. We do have a little dressing room. We only have one, but the boutique is usually not that full, so you're fine. You can go in and try on whatever you need. But for instance, if you did tap, you can tap shoes. For ballet, I actually have mine with me. Hold on. It's recommended. We don't force this. You can wear socks, but socks are slippery and we just don't want you to get hurt. So you can wear socks. So if, for instance, you forget your shoes, you can still wear socks. That's completely fine, as long as you're not slipping and sliding all over the place. You usually hold the bar, so you're fine. But in center work, which means that you go into the middle of the dance floor to try out choreography or to try out what you tried out at the bar, we don't want you slipping. So you can still wear the socks, but we prefer that you try something like these. Now, there's also for the advanced ballet dancer, you have point shoes. Point shoes are different. They're flatter at the top and they're more structured than these. These are more for beginner kind of dancers. Being what's called on point is when you can literally point your foot like to a ridiculous degree and stand on the point. That is very advanced. Please don't try that when you're a beginner. Just don't do that. You have to get stronger and know the technique and all that before you ever attempt going on point. But especially if you're trying classes, don't worry about the clothing as long as it's comfortable, relatively form-fitting, mostly so the instructor can see you. They're gonna, not to make you uncomfortable, but they have to see your body to a certain degree because they need to know if you're moving properly. They need to be able to see you. So for example, if you're doing something called isolation, I know I'm bouncing around, I'm sorry, my brain's everywhere, but if you're doing something called isolation, where you're isolating a particular part of your body and you're just working pretty much for the most part with that one part of your body, they need to see that one part. So for example, if I'm wearing a really super baggy shirt, which is not this shirt, but if I was wearing something super duper baggy and we're doing isolation, and if we're isolating the rib cage, for instance, which is a hip hop thing, which is really hard to do. If you're wearing a baggy shirt and you're trying to do the circling of your rib cage, you can't really see if your ribs are popping out because of your baggy shirt. So it's harder for our instructors to instruct you to do something well if they can't see if you're actually doing it. Same thing with like really long pants. If they can't see you're pointing your foot or flexing your foot, and you're doing something with your feet, especially for ballet, they can't fix it for you if you're doing it wrong. And we don't want you to get used to the wrong way of doing something and then it messes you up for moving up a level if you are interested in moving up in dance. So you kind of want something a little bit more form-fitting. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable. I prefer to be more covered too, but it needs to be tight enough where they can see your body so that if isolation's happening or you're moving in a certain way, they can see it. It's not just clothes, you know what I mean? But anywho, that's generally what you should be wearing. Don't worry about for your trial classes, just focus on wearing sneakers and having socks with your sneakers, especially for ballet, have socks. And wear comfortable, relatively reasonably tight clothes, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be tight, like this is loose, but you can still see my body, you know what I mean? So if I'm moving around, you know where I'm going. It needs to be something like that, okay? So don't worry about buying specialty anything for your trial classes ever. Even for tap, you don't have to. Don't do it because you might not stay in tap. You might like it and want to go forward with it, but you may not. And if you don't move forward with it, we don't want you to waste the money on buying tap shoes that you're never going to use, okay? But anyhow, these specialty items surely be purchased if you're really interested in having them, you want them, and or you're staying in the class. Now, for like I said, for ballet, for hip hop, you don't really need any specialty items, although we do recommend sneakers, comfortable sneakers, and more flexible sneakers, just so if you're doing footwork, which you're going to be doing, some type of footwork, it's more comfortable for you and you're able to move properly. You don't want to have shoes that hurt you. For ballet, though, we do have the option of having these shoes or socks. These are better just because these are dirty. These are mine, sorry. They have these, which help you slide across the floor, but at the same time not slide to the point of falling. But essentially, these shoes, I'll show you closer. We have different styles. You don't have to get pink. We have different sizes for everybody. You don't always have to have a bow. If you get these, though, little warning, I never knew this in the beginning. You're supposed to sew your own shoes, which I found outrageous because I can't sew. As you can see by my wonderful sewing job, I can't sew, but somehow I managed to do it. They're attached, so I did okay. So these little cross bits, they come unattached from the shoe, so you actually have to sew them on. You're supposed to sew them onto this. You see how there's this kind of middle part, this thicker part? You sew them onto the thick part of the shoe so that it stays. So what I did was I folded the end and then I did a terrible job sewing it. And that's what you need to do. Some of these only have one strap, so you only have to sew this side and this side on those lines. This shoe just happen to have both, and if you have both, you want them to cross kind of over a particular part of your foot. There are tutorials, like videos you can look up. We can also help you with this too, so it wouldn't be me that would help you because I don't know how to do it. But we have people who know how to sew, and they can help you with the shoes. We do sell different types of these shoes in the boutique, but like I said, you don't need them right away for your trial class. Okay. So these are nice and flexible. So they're very good for if you're pointing your foot or you're flexing your foot or you're flat. It's able to do whatever you need. Okay? So just slip your foot inside and that's that. Okay. We do recommend though, if you're going to get these, it's useful. It's not necessary, but it's useful to have some type of sewing kit with you. So for instance, if you bring a bag with you or something like that, we do have these on site so we can help you if you need it. But it's nice to have, for instance, some extra needles, some thread, whatever color you need. Ideally, it should be the color of the shoe, but it doesn't have to be. Just so you can sew it back on in case you're like me, you were in class and it broke your shoe. One of these babies got loose. If you're wearing socks, you're good because you could just use your socks. But if you're in a pinch, especially if maybe you're more advanced and you're going to a performance and this breaks, you definitely need emergency catering to your shoes. But yeah, that's for ballet. I also actually, these kind of pants are jazz pants. These are also in our boutique. These are good pants to have. You want the length, like I said, to be above your foot so that they're not too long, but you can always roll them up, so it's not a big deal. You can wear gym pants, you can wear jazz pants. These are jazz pants. You can wear pretty much any, you can wear these jazz pants to any class. I wear them for all my stuff. I always wear these because they are super comfortable and they're awesome and they move really well, but they're tight enough where you can still see my body. My instructor can still see my body, and they're kind of cute because they have this little cross bit, which pretty much no one ever sees because my shirt's always over it. But it's cute. Anyway. So we have things like this that are more flowy. You can use these for any class. For pole dancing, these would be okay, but you might slide a little too much with these. It kind of depends on how advanced you are with that. But since you didn't even select that, you don't have to worry about it right now. But you can have something like this for all your classes. We do have gym pants. We do have leggings. We have shorts. We have capris.
whatever you need. But that's kind of the gist of what you can pretty much use for any of your classes at all. Okay?
Alright. Do you have, those were good questions. Do you have any other questions? Yes. Okay, hold on.
We do. I will show you the workshop that we have coming up. Okay? So, this particular workshop is called Keeping It Old School, Free Classic Hip Hop Moves Workshop. So our workshops are always free to our students and their guests. Each workshop will have a certain amount of guests that can attend, but we usually limit the number of guests just because it is free. And, you know, we gotta pay instructors and things like that. We do always have the option of accepting donations, but that's up to you. You don't have to give anything. For this particular workshop that's coming up on Saturday, April 24th at 6:30 p.m., we usually have our workshops at night. We do sometimes offer them the same workshop during the day, maybe on a different day of the week or something like that, to see how many people we can accommodate. But we like to start it off at night, see how many people attend, and then adjust accordingly. So for this particular workshop, it is free, and like it's showing you with old school, these are some old school hip hop moves. So because you're interested in hip hop, this might be a good option for you. Now, some of the classic moves, you may or may not know some of these moves, but some of the featured moves, because we do have more, some of them are the Roger Rabbit, the Running Man, the Steve Martin, the Reebok, the Smurf, the Bernie, the Rambo, and the WAP. Now, some of these you're probably like, what? If you've never tried hip hop before. I don't know all of them either, to be honest. I've done the Running Man, the Steve Martin, and the Bernie, but the Roger Rabbit looks like a good time. I looked it up. But it's up to you if you want to attend the workshop and see what these are like. I'm probably going to be there. We do stress that we want this to be fun in a judge-free atmosphere. Now, obviously, we're human beings and we judge, but our instructors aren't going to judge you if you feel like you're really terrible at anything, especially if you're new. Don't hate on yourself for not doing it correctly, especially the first time. I'm one of those people myself who I'll try it the first time. Like, if I'm in dance class, I do the choreography for that first time, and I'm awful. I'm like awful. so bad. It's ridiculous, right? Like, it's like this girl can't even like move her body well. It's unreal. It's like I'm a baby and I don't know like where things are supposed to go, and I get all kinds of confused, way too in my head. But the second class, when we redo what we did, I'm usually so much better. And I just get better from there, and I always do. So even if the choreography, we only do it for a couple of classes, by the last class I'm usually pretty solid, roughly, for a beginner in it. I'm not as ridiculous. I feel better about it than the first class. So don't beat yourself up if you try them and you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea where anything's going. That's not a big deal. When you get home, you're probably going to find yourself bopping to what you learned and you'll improve. So don't even worry about it. The workshops are just informative for your own use, okay? The thing is, we do have some stretching and basic hip hop forms and some additional moves that will be before and after class. So, for example, all of our classes, not just workshops, everything we offer, we always stretch before and after. The reason we do that is we want our instructors to model good safety, essentially, for exercising, for dancing. And we also want to protect our people, protect our students and our instructors. Now, when you stretch beforehand, that warms you up, makes you more limber, less likely to have injuries. When you stretch after, you really lengthen your muscles, so you tend to get less sore. You get all the soreness that maybe you did accumulate over the dancing, over the choreography, over the class out of you. You lengthen your muscles. When you get stronger, you'll see your muscles are a lot more lengthened looking. They're not all just bunched up and just painful. They're more stretched out. It's just good practice to do it before and after. So we will always offer that. Even if we don't say it in the brochure or in the poster, we always do it. Always, always, always. So our instructors have a lot of autonomy in the curriculum. So we have a specific curriculum for our classes, but they have to stretch before and after with their students. So it's not just, oh, figure it out, stretch out on your own. Especially if you're a beginner, you're not going to probably know what stretches are good for you, what feels nice, what will protect you. So we always do before and after as a class. Always. Our instructors will do that for you, and in our workshops and even in our theme nights, we do the same thing. We do give our instructors a lot of autonomy, so they do have to stretch before and after. That's mandatory, and they have to follow a certain curriculum in a certain order, but they have a lot of leeway with how they teach it, just because we only pick really high quality professionals as our instructors, but also we know that when you're the teacher, you know your students best. So we trust our teachers to cater to their students in the best way for them. Now, in here they give you a little extra. So although you're doing these, they give you some extra tips just in case if you're not familiar with hip hop at all, you know some basic form. So for example, for hip hop, you have to get really low and you have to bend your knees and you kind of bounce. Everything's bouncy and flowy, and like I said, it's a controlled looseness. So they're gonna tell you that way the moves come a little easier to you, because you kind of need to know some certain basic things, basic forms that are important to know for you to learn these moves or any hip hop moves. Also, they do offer some staples, we call them staples in here, of hip hop moves. So for example, the kickball change. Now, they add those as just little additional things for you to know so you can have fun. It does say that at the end of class, you'll get a short choreography that compiles all of these, and some of the bounce, getting low, that kind of thing, all together. They'll encourage you, like all our instructors do, to kind of add your own flavor to it. So if you want to wiggle a certain way, or like maybe have freestyle arms, you can do whatever you want with your arms, something like that. They'll add those things in so that you can make it more you. And even if you don't know what more you is, they give you that option to try, and they will give you examples so you can copy one of their examples if you're not comfortable completely making it up yourself. But at the end, you'll have that choreography that combines everything. We call it the ultimate classic hip hop challenge, but don't be afraid of that. It's literally just you follow along. The instructor's going to be doing it the whole time with you, so no worries of memorizing anything. So we have a sign up, and you have to sign up by a certain date. So for example, by the 21st, we do ask for the comfortable clothing and sneakers for hip hop. We don't want you to fall. You can bring a guest or two, so it's up to 2 guests, that's your maximum, and get ready to go old school. And this is our information, our address, and all that. But you're here, so you know that information. So if you're interested in this, I do have the sign-up sheet for it. So I have it right here. We already have a couple of guests that are already on the list. Okay, so you're 100% sure you're going to join hip hop? Okay, that's fine, yeah. You want to join the workshop? That's fine. I will put you on the list. We will send a reminder to you. So you said you prefer text, so we'll text you that information so you don't forget, okay? So I will add your name to the list. Do you have any guests you'd like to attend? You're not sure? You can always tell me later and I can add it in, or you can add it online. Either way. Okay. It sounds good. No, it sounds like a good time. Okay. I can also tell you our theme night if you're interested. That's our kind of general community fun night. Okay, I will show you what it is. This is an interesting one, and because you were interested in a 90s night, this might be your jam. So this workshop is called Classically Kenny Ortega Theme Night. So Kenny Ortega, if you don't know, is a famous choreographer who choreographed many different movies over the years, and he still continues to do that today. Some of the most famous movies that pretty much everybody knows or has heard of are listed here, and you're going to learn some choreography from them. So the films that you're going to go over are Dirty Dancing, High School Musical, Hocus Pocus, and The Cheetah Girls. This is on May 21st at 7, so it's on a Friday. So like I said before, you have the choice. So you can either learn the choreography and the moves from the instructor, or you can go to the open studio, so the open part of the dance studio. They kind of cut it in half, and you can just jam to the music that you listen to. We actually do have a live DJ that will play the music from each of these movies for whatever you're going over. Now, some of the most famous moves and choreography from these films will be shared. I know Dirty Dancing, a lot of it is partner work. You don't have to have a partner to do it. They'll show you other moves and kind of basics and what's shown in the film. All our instructors that are participating in this night know all the dance moves from all these movies, so we encourage anyone who attends to tell us if they have a certain dance move or a song or something like that they want to learn the moves to. We cater this night. Theme nights are really catered to what you want as an attendee. So as long as it's within that theme, you can request it. So these are the films only that we're focusing on, but out of all of them, you can pick. Maybe most people who attend don't want one of these, or they want a specific one to focus on, and you can do that instead. Our instructors are very flexible. They will cater to you. We do offer free refreshments. So like with the workshop, we offer some fruit, we offer some water, that kind of thing. However, for our theme nights, because we're all adults, for those who are old enough adults to drink, we do have alcoholic beverages on site. They are available for purchase, so for a small fee. They're not free, because we don't want people to go too crazy. We do ask that people drink responsibly. However, if people are being disrespectful, disruptive, getting drunk, anything like that, we can cut you off, and we can ask you to leave, because we want this to be a fun night, not a drunken party. So we have the right to ask you to leave. For this, you can have up to 4 guests max. The reason why we want 4 is because we know with a theme night, when it's really just for fun, people like to have other people around them very often, people that they know, so they feel more comfortable to dance and try things out. And maybe you can show what your friends, your family, whoever's with you, what it's like to dance at the studio, what the studio looks like, that kind of thing. Just have a fun time together. Our theme nights are always feed, but they're usually small. So if you're a TAVADS student, which you intend to be, it's $1 per student and $5 per guest. We do always have the option of donation. So if you'd like to donate to us, you can, but you don't have to. We ask that you wear appropriate, comfortable clothing and sneakers. Now, we specifically mentioned appropriate mainly because Dirty Dancing is one of the movies, and we don't want any roughhousing or ruckus or anything like that, but we want everything to be appropriate, okay? So we have the sign up, and we have some pictures here. So we have a scene from Dirty Dancing. We have Kenny Ortega talking to the actresses. We have Kenny Ortega with someone from High School Musical. This is High School Musical. That's Kenny Ortega as a young man, him more now. This is more behind the scenes as well, when he met up with one of the Cheetah Girls. This is Hocus Pocus, him meeting up with one of the actresses from Hocus Pocus. So yeah, we have this. Are you interested in giving our theme night a go? Okay. Well, our workshops tend to be about an hour to 2 hours. It depends on what you're doing. This might be maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. We don't go beyond 2 hours, and we don't go less than an hour either, unless everybody leaves. Like, you're an adult, you can leave when you want.
We just ask you to be respectful when you do it. But especially for our instructors, if everyone just makes a mass exodus for the door after like one dance move, that's pretty disrespectful. So commit to a certain degree, but if it's late, you have work tomorrow, whatever it is, you can leave. You are free to go, and you can just tell our instructor that, the instructor that's there. But for the theme nights, they also range from about an hour to 2 hours. Once again, we don't go beyond 2 hours. Though we can make it shorter even than an hour, depending on who attends, how long they attend. Theme night is really catered towards just fun. We do teach you things, our instructors teach you, but at the same time, it's more for fun than anything else. So we cater very much to our participants. So if you don't want to stay long, and most people leave by a certain time, even if people are still there, we'll still have the instructors be with that person, even if it's just one person. But like I said, we won't go beyond the 2 hours. But if most people are just kind of like, oh, I'm tired, I'm good, then we'll cut it short. So it really depends. The end time is always a little more flexible, but the start time, we do that right on time, just so you know. But you can also, you can enter late. We don't recommend it though, because it's harder and it's more awkward for everybody when you kind of come in the middle of a dance sequence or something, or middle of a move, and you didn't see the beginning, that kind of, it just gets awkward. So we don't recommend it. We do let you in, but we don't recommend it. Especially for theme night, because you pay for it. We do let you in. Even for the workshops, we'll let you in. You might just have to wait until the choreography ends before you enter, just out of courtesy, okay, to the instructor and to the other participants. But are you interested in the Kinney or Table Night? Because we do have the sign up right here. We do have a couple people attending and their guests. You do want to try it? Okay, that's fine. I will add you in. You can always change your mind. So for instance, you're like, oh, I don't feel like it today. You can cancel. We recommend 24 hours before the start of this, because we want to know how many people are there, for how many refreshments we're going to have, how many instructors, which studio room is big enough for everybody, that kind of thing. So for logistical purposes, we need to know how many people are planning to attend. And we usually don't accept walk-ins just randomly if you didn't sign up, but we do ask 24 hours before if possible. If not, as soon as possible. We want to know you're canceling, okay? But you can cancel at any time. So I'm going to write you in. Do you have any guests in mind for this? You can also pay for this online. Yeah, you don't have to pay right now. But I'll put a note that you need to pay. Okay. No guests yet. That's fine. That's fine. Like I said, it's only $1 for the student, so you just have to pay $1 unless you bring guests. They're $5. Okay. And yes, you have to, just for future reference, you do have to sign up by the deadline. If you do not, like I said, we don't let walk-ins happen. We need to know how many people are attending so we can logistically settle everything. So we don't accept late sign-ups, no. We try to be as flexible as possible, but as realistic as possible too. All right. Do you have any other questions? Yes. Okay. So you're not familiar with dance classes at all. That's fine. I wasn't either when I started, so I didn't know what to expect. But I'll explain kind of how it's set up. In every studio, essentially a studio is a room. It's a big room that has a mirror on one wall. So you'll have a mirror on one wall, and everyone is facing, usually, we'll start facing the mirror. The reason we do that is so you can see yourself and the instructor. So no matter where you are in the room, even if you're in the back, you can still see the instructor. So if you can't see their physical body there because someone's in your way or whatever, they're too far away, you can see it in the mirror. You can follow whatever they're doing. And they face the mirror too, so that every move, if they're going right, you know it's right. You can see it, you follow, that kind of thing. So it's easier to follow the instructor based on whatever choreography you're doing. The mirror also serves another purpose. It shows you what you're doing. Now, very often when you're, especially when you're new and you're moving around, you don't know what you look like or if you're doing it correctly. Or maybe you don't know why you don't know why it's considered incorrect or something like that, but when you see yourself doing it, it becomes more clear. So we ask that you don't look at yourself in the mirror and hate on yourself because you're not doing something correctly, or you feel like it's not correct, or it doesn't look good, or anything like that. Try not to beat yourself up about it. Honestly, from what I've seen, all our other students are very courteous of other students. So especially if, for instance, like I take a class that has people who are way more experienced than I am in that dance form, and I've never had a problem with any of them. They really are courteous. Even they see that obviously it's very obvious that I'm a beginner, that I don't know what's going on. They understand that. They understand dance can be very difficult, so they don't make it awkward for me at all. They're actually very supportive of my trying to figure it out. From what I've seen, none of our students are mean to anybody else that I've seen at all. They're all pretty supportive of each other, which is beautiful, because we need that, and especially when you're trying something new, that's very helpful. It's a little more encouraging. But don't look at yourself in the mirror and start judging yourself, or even judging other people. Like me, for example, maybe you see someone who's so good and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. Try not to see it that way. Try to see it as, that's what I want to be, I want to get to that standard or something like that. Or, wow, I didn't know you could do it this way. Or, wow, that looks really good. Maybe I should try to mimic that. However, word of caution, when you're looking at other students, pay attention more to the instructor than the other students. You obviously need to know what the other students are so you're not bumping into people, but you shouldn't be following the other students. So I kind of use the other students as inspiration, but I don't usually I don't follow them. I follow the instructor. The reason you follow the instructor is because the instructor knows what to do. You may look at a student and think, wow, they're doing great, but they may be doing something subtly off that is a problem or is problematic. They may not be perfect at it either, right? So obviously no one's perfect, even the instructors mess up, but the instructors know what they're doing. They know the safe way to do things. They know the technique. They're the go-to for everything. So the only time you really follow somebody is if you're like me and you're super beginner and have no idea what's going on, and maybe your particular instructor, like we said, we give them some type of autonomy. So maybe that instructor will move aside after teaching you the choreography over a couple days. Then they'll go aside and they'll be like, okay, your turn. Now you do it. So now you're like, oh Lord, I gotta figure that out. And maybe you forgot something and you see the other person, you're like, oh yeah, that's what it was. The instructor usually will yell out what you're supposed to do anyway. So even if you're lost, they see it. They're gonna tell you. But sometimes you cheat and you look at each other and you're like, oh yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. But for the most part, follow your instructor. Don't follow anyone else. Don't worry about anybody else. Follow the instructor. Worry about yourself. And try not to judge yourself if you feel like it's really awful and wow, I can't move well and whatever. Try to be kind to yourself because it's hard, especially if you've never done it before and you're an adult, right? And you're starting as an adult. You're not used to it. So you're not gonna know what other people know. Other people, if they started really young, for instance, and they kept up with it, they'll know things and it'll be normal to them, those things, right? That you don't know. Like, for instance, I didn't know you're supposed to suck in your stomach all the time. I didn't know you're supposed to do that. That is hard to do. And you're supposed to breathe somehow, even though you're sucking everything in. So you have to suck up from your stomach, but you close your ribs so you're flat. It's no joke, and it'll get you winded. So, those things come with time. So those techniques, ways to stabilize your body, what you're supposed to do, how your arms help you, all those things your instructor will help you with. And please feel free to ask your instructor questions at any point. So don't feel like, oh, okay, the instructor's still talking. You can literally do a little hand raise or kind of be like, excuse me, I have a question. You can ask questions at any point. We do encourage questions because we do want you to have the best instruction possible, the best experience that we can offer you, okay? So please don't feel like you have to be quiet and just follow the instructor. That's it. You can engage openly with your instructor. Another thing is each class, like I said, the teacher kind of has autonomy. So you always start with the structures, always end with the structures. However, as a class together. However, the way the class is structured is up to each teacher. Most classes are structured similarly across the board for the type of dance you're in. So for example, for ballet, usually you'll start at the bar. The bar is literally a wooden bar against the walls, and they're against all the walls except the wall with the mirror. And you will start at the bar, so you start with your left hand on the bar, and you're supposed to do whatever moves you're supposed to do. Usually it's kind of like a practice. It helps with your strength. It helps you learn different moves so that you're not falling over when you're trying to figure out where your balance is in your body, that kind of thing. So you start off at the bar, and then usually you'll have some type of stretching in the middle. So most of the time that's whatever you want to do. But because you do stretches in the beginning and after class, you're familiar with some type of stretches. So you can stretch, you can drink your water, whatever it is that you need. We do recommend that you always have water with you. We do have a bubbler or a water fountain, whatever you want to call it. So we do have water available if you do need it. And we do carry some bottled water too. So if you do forget, just let us know. We can get you water. We don't charge for it. We don't want anyone to pass out. So we will give it to you. But we do recommend you come prepared with whatever specialty items you need, your comfortable clothing, sneakers, socks, whatever it is, and your water. So that's kind of your water stretch break. And then after that, you'll do what's called center. Center is literally you don't have the bar for support anymore, and you go in the middle of the dance floor. And now you're going to face the mirror, you face your instructor, and you're going to do whatever move they need you to do. So maybe you'll do what's called across the floor. You'll start maybe at the back of the studio, and then you'll move forward. You'll do some type of thing with that, or you'll work on your feet or your balance or something like that, but when you're doing without the bar. So that's usually the structure. So you'll stretch, you'll do bar, then you'll do stretch / break, then you do center, stretch, and that'll be your class. The teachers can change it depending on what's needed for their students, depending on what they want to get done, but that's usually the basic structure for ballet. For hip hop, there's a lot more leeway, but it's similar. So you kind of do that, you do the stretch, then you kind of do a prep period, center, and then stretch, and you're done. So for example, some teachers will do across the floor. So I had an instructor once who would have us start at one end of the studio and end at the other. So he would teach us a certain type of footwork, like moving across the floor with that particular type of move, and we would go across the one wall to the other, and then he'd make us do it with the other foot. Either way, because we always have our instructors do both sides of your body. You never, ever, it's just bad practice to do just one. You never favor one arm, foot, side over the other. So if you're like me, you're right-handed, you're not always going to use your right side. You're going to use your left side as well. We have to balance you out. You have to get used to it. Both sides of your body. One side of your body is always going to feel better than the other. But we want to make it as balanced as possible so that you know how to use both sides of your body. But you could do that. So you could do that kind of work. And then when you go into the choreography part, which is the center work, that's when you're doing the specific choreography that your instructor prepared for you. Usually whatever you did before you did center would be important. It's an important move during choreography. So it's prepping you for what you're going to do in your center work, in the choreography itself. I also had another instructor who did something slightly different. Instead, we would do the stretches, and once in a while we kind of do like a specialty move type of practice. So you could maybe practice your bouncing, or you could practice that isolation with the ribs, or something like that, kind of step by step of how to do that, and then it gets incorporated into the center work when you're going into it. That's something beginners don't usually notice either, how everything connects, and that's understandable. There's so much to look at and think about especially when you're new, that you're gonna miss things. It's just gonna happen, and that's fine. That's normal. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But that's one of the really difficult parts. When you're new, you kind of need the teacher to tell you, oh yeah, we did that already. That's why we did that, because it helps with this. And your teachers are going to do that. They're not going to be condescending about it. They're just going to tell you, okay, we did that because this helps you. And then you'll be like, oh, I did not know that at all. You may not say that, but you're probably thinking it. So it's not a big deal. That's usually kind of how it's structured. So you have some type of prep period, the stretching, before and after, and then you have prep, some type of prep, getting you prepared for the choreography itself, for that center work. That's pretty much how most classes are. So you kind of prep, center. So stretch, prep, center, stretch, and then you're done. That's usually how it is. I did want to mention, depending on the class, so it depends on what the instructor thinks is best, and it depends on what the students are comfortable doing. So, for example, many classes will offer a performance of some type at the end of the year. So what you could do is you could be working on a specific choreography to share with others later in the year. We have a final kind of festival type thing at the end of the year, a little celebration for everybody. So all classes, all levels are welcome to attend. It is free, you can just come. But we do have some of our students perform certain choreography for everybody. Sometimes they even go into competitions or anything like that. Depends on how advanced they are and how comfortable those students are and the teacher is with having them perform certain things. So don't feel, and it's always voluntary too. It doesn't have to be the whole class. But they could have a separate class maybe on a different day that they teach that choreography to those students to prep them for the final performance or for a competition or anything like that. It really depends on your class. But you can always talk to your instructor if you're interested in something like that. Even if you're a beginner, we can still find a way to stick you in somewhere for you to try so you get used to performing, because it's a different ball game when you're in front of people versus when you're just in front of people you're used to being in front of, such as your classmates and or teacher. But like I said, it's completely voluntary, depends on the instructor, depends on you and your classmates. However, we also, it's also available for the private tutor, anyone who has private tutoring as well. We don't offer it though for online unless they're actually able to go to the studio to practice, because we want everybody there to attend. Although even like our online people, they don't usually attend unless they physically come, because I feel like it's not feasible to have a little camera all over the place with a bunch of people online type of thing, so we don't bother with that. So you have to kind of commit to coming in studio for that. But if it's nice outside, we usually will have that festival outdoors. We even have our professional teachers will sometimes dance with their students, and or they will dance alone. So our professionals kind of do a choreography together with their different dance styles, and they show you their different dance styles. So it's a great night for seeing other different dance styles, meeting different teachers, different students, sharing experiences, have fun. We always have food and drink. We have more than light refreshments for this one. We do have a meal we give everybody. It's usually a lighter meal just because if people are going to dance, they don't want it heavy. We definitely recommend, especially for your trial classes, don't eat super heavy. You will regret it. You can still dance, but you'll regret it. Yeah, just from personal experience, you definitely will. Also, when you have your break and you drink water, well, we always give you a water break at some point, but don't drink a lot of water either. It sits in the stomach and it just bubbles and makes weird noises, and you can feel it bouncing, and it's just like, it's not good. It weighs you down. Just drink a little bit just to keep you alive, and that's it. That's my advice for you. But the end of the year festival, we'll have a date for that soon. But for it, our professional dancers also dance there, our instructors. It's a really nice time. We have a lot of good music, different types of music. You get to see all types of our different dance forms. All our instructors participate, or at least one from each category, so one from each style of dance will participate, so you'll always get to see all that we offer, which is really nice. So it's kind of like a marketing thing, but it's also just for a fun celebration for all our students and our instructors. Kind of a big thank you, essentially. And it's good practice too if you are interested in performing too, if you want to be part of that. But you can always talk to your instructor. I know that you're just trying the trial classes, so one thing at a time. But yeah, well, I think I need to fix these posters at some point. Yeah, I keep them flapping like this just because I want to see how they look before I kind of commit them to the wall. And I always have trouble making things straight, so I'll need some help from somebody else in the staff to help with this. Yeah, we show yoga here because we do usually have a workshop at some point with yoga. We're thinking of having some type of yoga Pilates class offered. Yeah, yoga is more stretching for the most part and kind of breathing and zenning. Pilates is more like a cardio workout type deal. They're very similar, but I find Pilates is more cardio intensive. This is Zumba. We have some lyric and contemporary shown here, ballroom dancing, some folk dances, hip hop, and ballet. So we kind of just show some of what we offer here through pictures, just in case people wanted to see. Well, yeah, for folk dancing, you don't have to dress up unless you're performing. You don't have to dress up in anything. No, you don't have to dress up in traditional garb or anything like that for folk dancing, but only if you're performing. By then, we'd have costumes for you that you can purchase for a small fee. So we can prep it for you and get it sized and all that. But that's only if you're performing. Otherwise, you don't have to. You can wear jazz pants, you can wear whatever you need. Just comfortable clothing with sneakers and socks is good. So yeah. Do you have any questions for me? Any more questions? Okay. If you do, feel free to contact us. Your phone number and our email and our website and all that. Just make sure to make that account though, that online account, so you can select. That's all we need from you really right now, is to select what day and time you want those trial classes to be, and then you have to click that they're trial classes. You did tell me you're doing trial classes. I have your information. I'll put these in for you in the system, so you don't have to worry about this. I'll take care of it. We can always make a copy of it if you need it for your own records. If not, we'll just keep it here. You can always request it later on if you must. But we have your email and your phone number and everything like that. We know what you prefer. So I'll put that in for you. But we just need on your end, make that account. Even if you decide not to say, I know you said you want to because you already signed up for things. But just in case, we do need you to make that account so that you can select what trial classes, what type of class you want, in class, full class, online, full class or private tutoring, whatever it is. Trial classes can be private tutoring as well. We test it out. You can see if you kind of vibe with the instructor. Maybe you want a different instructor or something like that, different day, time. You can kind of play with it. Do want to warn you though, if you do try the trial classes, even if you try different instructors, those different instructors are considered trial classes as well. So we do monitor your trial classes, so don't try to get away with having free classes. We just want to make sure that you have a fair shot of trying it out, seeing how the instructor is, how the class is, the dance style, and if you're interested in it. But within reason, again. Within reason. So, do you have any more questions at all? You just need to do that. And that'll be that. If you have any questions, contact us at any time. Okay? And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Well, thank you so much for coming. And welcome to TAVADS.